Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chongqing's channel. This is Eiko Chen and our guest today, Shen Dalin, with us. In today's live stream, we are about to take you to review on this newly released new energy vehicle in China, the Avatr 11, which was officially launched in August with three new configuration models priced at 50,000 to 64,000 US dollars. The vehicle is a large five-seat SUV and it rivals at Tesla Model Y, NIO ES7, and Xiaopeng G9, not to mention the CHM platform that has jointly created by Chang'an Automobile, Huawei, and contemporary Aprex technology company Ltd, aka CATL. Join us today are Elliot at Fully Charged Show and China Driver, who is a great content creator based in Shanghai, and he produces videos that are mostly about the EVs of China. And this is his channel, we can see. If you guys are interested, please check on this and this. Okay, these are great content. And our guest today is Shen Dalin, the senior manager of the Avatr of the product line. So welcome. In this episode, Elliot will do a dynamic test run in the park, and he and Joey Huang, the user experience expert, and Elliot will introduce the features of the vehicle for us. Also, we will be talking about the EV industry and other renewable energy and intelligent connected technology in Chongqing in China. So stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe. Okay, before we started, I'm going to introduce guys to you some informations about Chongqing's EV industry, because if you are a follower of our channel, you probably would notice that I produce some live stream shows and videos about the topic of the EVs and the relative technology. The reason that we are constantly trying to promote this field is because Chongqing is one of the most important automobile manufacturing bases nationwide, and this city is building a world-class intelligent, connected, and new energy vehicle industry cluster. This might sound very ambitious, but we sure have some confidence. Let's see. The first thing is, in recent years, this city's auto industry has accelerating in transformation and upgrading to the new energy and intelligent connected. We have some data about this. In 2021, the production of new energy vehicles and intelligent connected network vehicles is 152,000 and 300,000 units, an increase of 252% and 25%. From January to July this year, the production of new energy vehicles and intelligent network vehicles is 168,000 and 183,000, an increase of 161.7% and 22.4%. And the growth rate of the new energy vehicle production is higher than the national by 47.3 percentage points. Second, the city is accelerating the promotion and application of EVs. In the month of July, Chongqing's new energy passenger vehicle market penetration rate reached 29%, 4 percentage points higher than the national rate and 13.5% times higher than in 2018. Also, we have the leading intelligent networked vehicle test environment that has been built. This is a video in Yongchang district of Chongqing. Driverless cars here are operating for the first time for a fee. Chongqing and Wuhan are the only pilot city in China for this implementation. Let's watch this video, okay? It's a short one. Chongqing has built the very advanced battery swapping EV application scenarios. This was me doing a live stream in the battery swapping station and interviewing like this. This was me in the live stream. If you want to check out, it's on Chongqing's channel. And we are interviewing drivers in the battery swapping EVs in another stations. They are really familiar and satisfied with this technology of pigmentation. And we have more high-end EV brands like NIO, Geely, Chang'an, Series, and Lixiang, and have achieved cluster development. Their products are prestigious. They build manufacturers bases in Chongqing, you know, like just like this one, and this one. And also, the sales of pure electric logistics vehicles ranked first, like this one, Weichi, and second in China, respectively. Also, the cities has basically formed a relatively complete new energy supply chain system. And above all this information and data, you can see that this city is catching up with the advanced area in EV field and worldwide. The newly released Avatar 11 is today's great example to show you how this city is participating in this intensive competition of this industry. So without further ado, let's take a look on what Elliot and Joey is doing right now in Shanghai. Hi, hey guys.
Hey. Hello.
Hi. So, can you briefly introduce yourself and your channel to us, Elliot?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Elliot Richards. I'm the host of China Driver on YouTube, and I'm also a presenter on the Fully Charged Show, also on YouTube, reviewing a lot of electric cars here in China and renewable energy projects as well.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Joey? Can you introduce yourself?
Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Joe Huang from user experience team, and I'm here like you do. I'm the host in this campus. So I will join with Elliot to show you guys how amazing this car is and how amazing this campus is.
Okay, let's get started. We are looking forward to see this while you guys getting on the car, and we have checked on these comments in our channel and on Elliot's channel, and everybody is totally excited about this. So let's get started. Okay.
Okay. Let's go for a drive.
Right.
Okay. So you are now in the exception center. It's like a park of this test drive area, right? We can
Yeah,
see a
that's
lot
right.
of
So yeah, they've
vehicles
set up
parking.
maybe
Okay.
30 cars there, I think.
Oh, so what will you do next?
So there's a course over here. If you just have a look around,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got a speed
Oh,
test. We're going to do a slalom test. We're going to see how the car manages on a slope, on a 25-degree slope. Come just test
wow.
out the functions of the car on this test track. It's just started raining, which is
Yeah.
great weather to do testing. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Okay,
So we're
so
going to
are
jump
there
in the car.
many people today to run the test? Because I know this car is really famous now, and as it was launched last month, and I think I've heard that there are many people apply for try this driving test. You know.
Right. Yeah. So far, it's about over 1,000 people test drive it, and
Joey, your audio is quite a bit loud to us, and please say a little bit louder. It might be because you guys are sharing one headset, so your voice is lower, the volume is lower.
over 1,000 people test drive this car. Yeah, from 9 September
Oh,
tonight. So actually, people get a lot of feedback that this car is worth driving, worth having, and it's an amazing car. So
yeah,
we cannot wait to drive it out.
yeah, me too. So,
Make sure everyone's got their seatbelts on. Yeah,
Right.
these lovely yellow
yeah.
seatbelts. I haven't actually driven this yet. This is my first time to drive it. We've been around the course once with the instructor, but this has been my first experience. So I suppose we should just get going, right?
Yeah. So you can just start with the pedal. Right.
It's on the brake
Yeah,
and then
it's
just
right.
down.
Yes.
Adjust the seat. Oh, here.
Stop.
Okay. Ah, got to move the card into place.
Right. And
Right, now we're ready.
You're in the sport mode.
Okay.
So actually, it's the fastest way to test the acceleration, and the brake is really accurate. So you need to press it,
Really hard?
right, really hard. Really
Okay.
hard.
Okay, so the first test we're going to do is the speed test. So I suppose if we're all ready, we ready?
Right, ready.
Okay. Okay.
Go to the left.
Wow.
Right. You might need to hold a grip or something.
Okay.
It's really fast.
We're just telling the cameraman he needs to hold on because it's.
So, how about the coach? Where is the stop sign that we need to hit the brake on?
Yeah, well, actually, you just do a full acceleration, and you do a full brake with your leg. At the traffic light.
At the traffic light.
Okay.
So when you meet the traffic light, you hit the brake.
Yes.
To the floor, right? Okay.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Right, ready.
Okay.
Ready.
I'm always nervous about this, but I suppose let's just go. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
That's great.
Well,
Right.
I don't know what speed we got up to. I wasn't looking. I was looking at the road, but the brakes are pretty good, aren't they?
Right. The brake is the Brembo caliber with the 4 piston.
Oops. Voice was lost.
Acceleration
Okay.
0 to 60 in what? 3.98 seconds?
3.98, but I mean, this is a shorter road, so maybe you're not hitting. It's like 80 or something.
80, yeah. Okay.
Okay, guys, can you hear? Because I've got some reactions about our audios on studio. Can you guys hear us? Can you hear me? Because sometimes I think I lost your audio right now. I can't hear you guys, but I see you really clearly. I'm thinking that if you guys can just take off the AirPods, just use the phone to do the audio, and it what might be.
Sure.
Okay. Can you hear?
Yes. So can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly, loud and clearly. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think this is the better way. Okay.
All right, we're gonna carry on. So, what's the next test that we're doing?
Oh, we're just turning left.
Yeah.
You're meeting like several speed bumps.
Okay.
Like you're driving normally on the road.
Yeah.
Up and downs. You will feel the comfort and the sporty of the chassis, which is spending nearly like 2,000 hours for the road test.
There are lots of speed bumps in China, actually.
Yes.
So you can test drive it and see how it reacts to your chassis.
It's a very easy ride for what is, it's quite a big, it's not a small car.
Mhm.
It's not a light car,
Right.
but it feels much kind of easier to drive than perhaps some of the other big cars I've driven.
Yes. And for your information, this is 5,000 pounds. Easy. And very comfortable, right?
Okay, so this test is the slalom test. No, the moose test.
Yes. The moose test.
Right. Yeah.
Which is probably the test that I don't like. So we've got to go quite fast ahead, and then we've got to suddenly turn and then suddenly turn back.
Yes.
And I'm always worried about hitting the fence. So should we go?
Yes.
Yes, let's go.
All right.
Whoa.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very nice. You can feel that the double wishbone on the front suspension.
Yeah.
In the rear, we have the multi-link suspension here, so the balance is really excellent.
It was very direct in the feeling of the steering. Like as soon as I turned the wheel, very easily turn.
Accurate and smooth.
Oh.
Very accurate, very smooth. Okay. And even though this is a SUV crossover, right?
Right.
So it doesn't feel. It feels kind of like a saloon.
Yeah. Like a saloon or a
short
break,
wheelbase
maybe
saloon.
something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's right.
driving it. So now we're off the city now. So you have
Okay.
set show, chase axle.
Okay.
So the instructors will guide you.
Right. The instructor right now, so you
So
can
he's telling us to go straight
right, go straight.
and then turn.
Yeah, a little bit turn on the left, right.
Okay. So this
Then
is
go straight.
Just easy and smooth on the pedal.
yeah.
That's it.
So we're now at 25 degrees. Is that right?
Yep.
About 25.
degrees. Actually 26.
So this is a very strange angle to do a test in, but
Right. But I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a screenshot for this. It's really a strange angle.
I feel like if I take off my seatbelt and open the door, I'm going to fall out.
Yeah, I feel like you are in a special effect of a movie kind of stuff.
If you look at the mirror up here, you can see the angle that we're at. It's kind of
really
crazy.
really crazy.
But the interesting thing is you don't hear anything like making any noises because it's quite a stiff chassis you were telling me earlier, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that was very.
How is gonna work, Mr. Shen, about this quiet system? The how to say this?
The quiet system. Well, actually, I mean, we from the first hour lesson, the chassis will use a lot of aluminum. We have two things to help
So
our
you feel the all-wheel drive.
first of all, we use the windshield and the light. So we use those lot of aluminum on our chassis, on our body side, and after we reduce this weight of the body more than
Remember,
30%.
we have a button. We have two buttons on the front,
I mean,
right?
it's
Yeah.
very strong.
One on the right.
We use our
This
whole
one?
body so you can
This
see when Elliot
Yep.
to drive on 25
And
and
you can
Right.
see there is a blue on the top left.
vehicle.
There is a gray one. You
Well,
just push
Normally,
the gray one.
we will call the body the
Oh,
I think on some of the shape, but
As I said,
also
it's
therefore
easy.
the after you will want to have it, and also we use in front and
Of
double
course,
shoe.
later on for later
We also
versions,
use
you
the
can
rear
also
and
see
lightning
the chassis.
suspension.
you can
It
see
will
the
help
chassis.
in this very well. You can say dangerous driving That's right.
Test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What's that?
330 degrees view.
Yeah, we're looking at the camera angles of the. So we were just going over quite a difficult piece of road, and it had two wheels in the air at the same time. Is that right?
Oh,
Yeah, and it's narrow.
two
And
wheels
it's quite
in the air.
narrow
Two wheels on the
in the air.
In the air.
In the
Yeah.
air.
And so yeah, and so you need this 3D camera to look around to see.
Also push the turns to
Which
three.
is
Oh, then you can
another-
see the car like
We
this.
change all different angles because we have cameras.
Ah.
everywhere.
So this is showing us
Oh.
exactly where we are right now. This is quite cool.
Wow.
We can see.
So you can see all this while you are driving this car all the time. In
Yeah.
real-time status.
Playing video games right now.
Yeah.
It's like a video game. And even when I
What-
turn the wheel, it's turning the wheel.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, low speed.
Okay, if I am a client, I bought this. What's this, function used for when I was driving?
Oh, one
Parking.
of the driving skill I will mention are you small parking space. You
Mm,
use this. You can say front and rear and your left and right side
Yeah.
to make sure you're safe driving.
So,
and
You can mention that when you go into a dark small park,
mhm.
lots of the driver are afraid to drive and reverse in China. But if you have the 360 view cameras, you can easily to see all the sides around you.
Weird when you
And
see
also when driving the road, in the back,
and see
you
your
can
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
try to make sure there's no animals, even the kids
Oh,
on the side of the car.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a small vehicle. It's just like
No,
the
it's
other
not.
EVs. So
Yeah.
it's kind of important when you are parking,
Yes.
right? You have to notice the surrounding areas and all this security and safe problems.
Yes.
While you sit in-
Okay, our followers are talking about. Thank you guys for remembering our show about this rapid battery swap facilities for EV cars. Yeah, actually, it's a 1 minute thing. When a 2 minute for the whole process when you arrived in the swapping station. I think it's one of the solutions for the EVs. It's not all the solutions to swap the battery, right?
Yes.
So the Avatr 11 is a charging solution.
We are charging solutions.
Okay.
And our battery packs come from CALT,
Oh.
the world's largest battery company.
Wow.
Yeah.
CALT. I've read some news about how this brand have listed on the global 500 renewable energy enterprises. It's really a big achievement. It's worldwide. So it's the battery thing. Everybody is really concerned about this problem because when we are talking about a new energy vehicle, it connects with how we defined it, the new energy. The battery is an important thing because how are these wasted battery is going to be, or how we can recycle this and how we can to benefit from the environment.
That's really a big question. I think it's even for the whole world's automotive industry.
Yeah.
Now in China or in some of the American or Europeans, we use recycled batteries to use another like a power storage case.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you can continue using. On the end of the day, the battery was really dead.
Yeah.
And also we do have the battery recycled plan. And also now in China, the large city. In the largest cities, they have what we call the battery recycle plant to do this job.
Wow. Yeah, because I've heard that there are some rare materials and metals in the battery, especially those really expensive battery with really advanced technologies in it. Because it must be a really huge industry to recycle this kind of stuff.
It is.
Okay, guys, so we can see you finished the test run, right?
Yeah, we finished the test driving, yeah.
Right. It's so fast, faster than I think. So what's your comment on this? What do you think?
I think that, these EVs get faster and faster, and it's impressive because they are quite big and quite heavy. This is a speed that a Ferrari could have done 20 years ago, but here it is in a family kind of car. It just blows my mind. And then the brakes were very, very impressive. So as soon as I hit the brake, we stopped within about 25 meters. That's really, really, impressive. The whole car, the whole package has impressed me so far.
So,
yeah, I just want to say that I'm lucky that I didn't have a breakfast yet.
Yeah, me either. I don't, I owe you guys this. So if I can catch up with you in Shanghai, I might have you. I wanted to, have breakfast with you when we are doing this next time. And I'm gonna start our conversation with questions about Elliot. How did you get in this new energy vehicle business? Because I've heard that you have a architecture background. I've watched some of your videos, and I want to know, how did you get in this, and how would you describe the development of China's EV industry and products that you've been through during the last couple of years?
Yeah, of course. So I've always been interested in cars since I was a young boy. I used to build the model cars. I used to paint them. So I've loved cars forever. I moved to China in about 2008, so just after the Beijing Olympics. And I kept seeing all these new car brands, which people back home in the UK, I'm from the UK, haven't heard of or seen of before. So I thought, well, no one's really talking about this. It's going to be one of the biggest auto markets in the world. But no one back home in the UK, Europe or the US knows anything about these brands. Geely, huge brand in China, no one really knows about them. So I thought, maybe I'll make some videos, put them on YouTube, see if anyone's interested. And then, so I started my own channel called China Driver. I've been making videos on that for a few years. And then after a couple of years, I bought my own Xiaopeng, my Xpeng G3. And that's when a channel called Fully Charged show, based in the UK, got in touch with me and asked me if I could make videos for them as well about the growing Chinese EVs in the market, because we'd started seeing some Chinese EVs come to the UK. For example, MG, obviously a British brand originally, bought by a Chinese company, started going over to the UK. So we've seen over the kind of past 2 years that I've been doing videos for Fully Charged that so many more companies are going to Europe now, often going to Norway, BYD, NIO, almost all of them. So I think that, your second question was around Chinese EVs, how they're kind of changing and growing. They're becoming so much more sophisticated and so quickly. It's amazing to think, I think 2018, when I first started testing cars, there was only a few EVs around. They were quite basic, the technology was okay, but here we are 4 years later, we've got cars like the Avatr 1.1, which, very luxurious, seems very well made, really competitive price. And I think that's how they're going to take over from the legacy brands who are quite slow to come to market. They built and designed this car in quite a short space of time, I think, right?
Yes.
In a lot shorter space of time than a Western EV brand. So if they can do this in, I don't know, a few years, imagine what they're going to be in 2 or 3 years from now. So I think it's the speed and the innovation and the technology that's really impressive about the Chinese EV space.
Yeah, the development process is rapidly fast. So we can see you've been testing this car and dynamic driving. I want to know, in your experience, because we've watched your videos about how you drive this kind of car, like BYD, like Geely's, like every really new released vehicle EVs in your channel. What do you think is the most interesting part when you running a test like today and reviewing on this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, sometimes you only get a few hours with a car, so it's very hard to know what it's going to be like to live with the car. I think that you're kind of testing what the initial feeling is. That first feeling when you get in the car, that first feeling when you drive, is a really good kind of way to see what the actual car is going to be like. And I think, with the Avatr that we've driven today, first impressions are good. I think that get a feeling of the quality of the materials, the feeling of the cabin, if there are any noises. But I think, if you can build a car in China which is practical, which is affordable and has good technology and the luxury feeling as well, then generally you're going to have a pretty good sales success. Different cars do different things. Some BYD cars are a bit maybe simpler and therefore more mass market. Some cars are more upscale. So, it's where that car fits in. So where does Avatr, the 1.1, fit into, the whole market, and which direction are they going to go in? So I think I'm looking at it kind of from those angles.
Okay, just different angles for a different product, and it depends on their features, right? That's the fun part. So we know that, and as we can see, there are many audience followers on our channel, and your channel keep commenting with us on their comment area, and everybody's excited about this. What do you think of the the audience reaction, and what does they care about for a newly released vehicle usually? And are you gonna pick up their comments and their reaction while you are doing a show, or just like today when you are doing some research about the vehicle? Are you gonna care about or just concerned about their interest?
I think we can probably both answer this about what people kind of comment about. There's comments about different things, right? So there's comments about EVs in general versus petrol cars. Which is better, which is worse for the environment. That debate continues to go on. And I think, cars from China, people are like, China's got a car industry and it's doing really well, and it's going to Europe and competing with these big brands. So I think the comments very important to see what people's impressions of these cars are. I think maybe with you, Joe, when you're designing a car, you look at what people's impressions are in the market. You want to get that feedback quite early on, right?
Yes. Actually, when people buy a car in China, actually the look Actually, the first impression, like you mentioned, is the most important part. So, yes, you can see that the sleek design, the simplicity of the design language is actually touching people's hearts, and they're really buying this kind of design philosophy because they're seeing lots of luxurious and sophisticated designs, but this is really sleek and really like technology, hidden inside it. You can feel that it's like Apple's iPhone or something. So sleek and so designed well, and yet right.
这个问题有点那个政治性，不要去。
Yeah, and we can see, as Joy just mentioned, it's about a really important feature of what this car's vehicle slogan just told us. The very first emotional SUV, emotional in new energy vehicle. How can you describe this? Define this emotional, 情感
Right. Maybe we could do it by explaining through the car.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
while
maybe
we're talking about it. Okay.
take a closer look about it.
Yeah.
So how do we define emotional designs? Like here. You can see that this is our front feature and it's really clean. It's really nice and doesn't have a lot of lines or some chromes out there. But you can see there hidden technology inside. There's LiDAR, there's radar and ultrasonic and every sensors hidden in the bumper, in the fender. We hid it very well. We designed it very well, integrated into the car. So you don't see a LiDAR on the head. You don't see that. It's very clean. We just have 4 cameras in front. So I think that the emotional companion means that it knows you, it feels you. And how do we feel that? You can see this is a halo display in the front. Actually, this is a screen. It's like a digital screen that shows characters, shows emojis, maybe shows.
Okay, we kind of lost them, but we are solving on that. We are, and there has been some static on there.
It's like
Okay.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, guys, we kind of lost the connecting signal with you because there has been some connecting problems. But it's okay right now. Okay, so so you've been talking about the screen on the vehicle, right? You can show some faces.
Yeah, this is the screen. You can see this really black, but it is screen. Believe me. Yeah, I could show a display if I had a car key out there. It shows hello when you come forward, and then it shows goodbye when you leave the car. So this is just the first step of knowing you. So the second step, we will through the OTA technology and brings you more. Like it knows, the car knows this is your birthday, so it sends a birthday cake to you, or it says happy birthday for you. So this is kind of a thing that people knows each other, and then they get to know them better. So they will feel you more and more like inside. Connections, right?
Yeah. So basically, this kind of a emotional kind of functions is about building a connection with caring with kind of a human oriented kind of thing. Things like that. Is it? Am I right?
Yes.
Kind of it's like an artificial intelligent, your own a partner in your parking lot in your house. I think it's kind of stuff like that. And if what we are going to do the next is about to experience and introduce the vehicle, right? Is that what we're gonna do?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. While we are doing this, we can keep on continue on our topics. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is to review on the car on the parking lot to our audience. And now just get started and show us the content. And what's the first thing that we wanted to see in this vehicle?
Okay, so the first thing we need to introduce you is the exterior design. So, like I mentioned, the front fascia, you got a very unique design with the headlight shaped like this. We call it the F-type headlight. And the inspiration of this headlight design is that we took the inspiration from the spaceship. So when the spaceship moving in light speed actually bends the light. So this is the shape that the light get bented. So you can see that in the at night, actually this kind of light is really discriminate. It tells everything about this is your car. This is not something like normal in the streets. This is my car. So this very unique design that shows your identity. Then you can see from the 45 degree angle, you can see that this is perfectly aligned. This is very unique, like golden ratio design language. So why we call it the golden ratio? Because the wheelbase size, the wheelbase length, and the total length, the ratio of the wheelbase length and the total length is about 0.61. And the golden ratio is 0.618. So we're very close to that portion. And you can tell that if you want to do this kind of portion, we could find some compared to outside, like Lamborghini Urus, right? Lamborghini Urus, the wheelbase ratio, the wheelbase and the full length ratio is about 0.59. So we're ahead, closer than the golden ratio than the Urus. So you can see that when you're driving this car, like Elliot mentioned, it's not like driving a very heavy car or a very big car, because the chassis is really tight, really feels very strong, and the ratio of the steering is really quite good. So when you're driving this car outside the street, yeah, you're the spotlight in the street, So this is the side part of the exterior design. So let's take a look at in the back.
So I think that this back is one of the most unique exteriors that I've actually seen. Like,
right,
you've got this kind of small back window here, and then this is a wing which pops up, right?
Right. It pops up when you hit about 90.
So the police know if you're doing 90.
Right. You don't do that in the street. But actually, you can do that manually. You can lift it up through the center screen. So when you're parked, you want to take some Photoshop, you want to take some photos, beauty shots, you can just lift it up. So yeah, it's up to you. So like Elliot mentioned, you study the architecture, right?
Yeah, architecture. Yeah.
So this design language actually takes a little bit from the architecture design, like the flying buttress.
Yeah, flying buttress. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that from the internet. I Googled it. So yeah, the flying buttress actually hidden well and integrated in the back. So it like kind of supports the structure.
Yeah.
So it feels the back is really how do I say? Really dynamic, but yet very steady, stable, right? So yeah,
it's so unique. Like there's no other cars that I know of globally that have a back like this. I think it's very striking on the road.
Yeah, just I have a questions about the design of the appearance of this shape of the car, because we've seen many electric vehicles, they have this really futuristic style of designing. So is that really important to distinguish this kind of design from this traditional petrol power vehicles? Mostly these traditional petrol power vehicles, their designs are kind of different from these EVs.
Actually, this design is not really new. You can see lots of in old luxury cars use the rear window design, down,
Mm.
not in the like normal vehicle design. And also our Avatr UN1 was being designed in Germany
Oh.
by the chief designer Mate. He was one of the most popular designers in the world. And of course, you can see the whole shape of our Avatr UN1. It's really beautiful, and I would say is one kind of a classic coming with our new text design. Even see the front in the nighttime when the headlamp was on, you can feel on the front when the cars come in, you can feel it's not like a car, like a UFO. Yeah,
Oh.
really. And
Uh-huh.
on the rear, we just say
Yeah.
they have a two straight, the rear lamp across our backyard, and also under the body we have one that we call the rear parking lamps. It's long, and also they have some we call the light talking when you're going on and going out. Yeah,
Oh. So it's important of this design of this appearance because it's not about how the car looks like. It's about some functions.
function and the
Yeah.
feelings
And feelings.
that our customer feel. Yeah.
Okay. Get back to you guys, and what's next?
Yeah. What's next is that you can take a look at the rear bumper. You can see that this is not just a bumper. This is actually integrated with we call it scenario lamp. So when you backing up the car, it shows the backup light, and when you're leaving the car, actually there's a light language with the tail lamp. So it gives you a very sleek and unique design of these layers of lights, but actually it tells you more about the language of light. So this is the back end. So there's a like very useful thing that this is power lift gates. So you can adjust the height of this lift gates. If you're tall, you can open it like way up. But if you're like a smaller person, you can just adjust the height of this tailgate. So both the design of this the trunk is actually useful and really intelligent for the users by the car. Right?
Yeah. Is it a big space for a vehicle for EVs? Elliot, what do you think? Because I only can see it from the camera.
It's probably quite hard for you guys to see, but I mean, I don't know how many liters this is. Do you know?
It's about 400.
Okay,
liters.
400 liters.
Right.
So I think it's pretty reasonable size. It's not the biggest boot. It's not the highest boot, but you guys do have a front, so a front trunk.
Yes,
and that is quite big.
Right.
If we have a look at underneath that, there's a really big front space. So you've got two spaces on the car. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I closed the door. I'll open it again. And I think there's a space underneath. Oh, there's some bits under there in case you break down or anything. So there's extra space. Right.
Beautiful design.
We can have a look at the front. The front. Oh, that's pretty good size. Right.
Wow.
Obviously, in a nice car, this is where the engine is. But with EVs,
no more engines.
No more engines. So you've got this quite used. This is actually quite big.
Right. We compare with Tesla's front. Actually, we're a little bit bigger, like 5 years more. Right. And the reason we put it right here in the middle is that because this actually gives us a safetyness. Because when you maybe got a car accident, something, this protects you from being hit in the car. So is the utility and the safety part is the spirit of this design.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
And we have a comment about asking any plans on launching it in US. I think this one. Okay. Okay. Is that a question that we can answer right now, or is still on the plan? And it's we can. Can we talk about it?
Right. I think that this is an option, but we're studying how to do it because right now it's just first step in China, right? Where we're trying to test it out. So, yeah, maybe in the future we could sell it globally because Chang'an is actually a global company. So, yeah, we're planning on this, but not right now.
Okay. But
Thank you for the
it's really
support.
glad,
The overseas.
yeah, and we are really glad to see this because I know we have two bases globally. And one is in Chongqing, one is in Germany. And what Mr. Shen just told us in the design part is from the German base. And so, can you share some information about what Chongqing's manufacturing has participated in this Avatar project in the product?
Actually, I mean, it's not only in Chongqing, it's in the whole China. You know that Avatr is one of the growing companies, and we have Huawei, we have CALT. He's our second largest shareholder. But for Huawei, he's not our shareholder, but one main player to compare with our two companies. And he has over thousands of engineers working with our global design team, which is in Yuzhou, Chang'an.
Yuzhou, Chang'an.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also our plants nearby the global research center as well. Yeah. And of course, this vehicle is built in Chongqing, 100%.
100% built in Chongqing.
Just built, but of course the materials come the whole.
That I can understand, but it just showed how Chongqing's EV manufacturing is really developing and advanced to build this whole package of vehicles, right?
Yes.
Show the ability for us to build this. And there is one picture about me in the Chang'an automobile manufacturer showing them the automation industrial production line, and these are robot arms. They are producing this EV vehicles automatically, really, without any manpower. And this is the other picture of this video of this live stream. I was really impressed about this automation production line because I think this is one of the important parts for what we mentioned. The other part of this industry is the intelligent network. The product is one side, one thing, but the product line, the manufacturing is another important issues. It connects with many fields of these technologies of this field, like artificial intelligence, like the whole vehicle of everything, connected with other things.
You're right. I can give you one simple example. You think about, all the material coming from different plants and different area. And normally in now modern industries, we use internet and search systems to tracking all the build coming from the all the routes of the part. For example, the one of the parts already been built in our supplier. He will scan this and send to the main systems. So the plant will research, my parts are ready, and we will search our transportations to pick up the part after the land to our plant warehouse and doing the second scan. So that means my part is coming in. So then use the tracking systems automatically use the AVC, what we call the small, and big and the motor
the
robot.
parking robot.
Yes, and tracking the screw and tow the parts come to the main manufacturing line. Yeah.
Okay, it's really automation system. And guys, what are you gonna do next? And
I'm gonna tell you more about the interior design part. So, like I mentioned about the idea from the technology, the architecture design language. So, here's another example of what we call the keystone design. Actually, it is the center of the car from the IP console center. So, this is like really symmetric design from the vortex here. So the vortex actually the center that communicates with the user through the voice control command. So, like I said right now, maybe we could try it out. 关窗，降下窗户。Sorry, that
It's
it got a
okay.
little shy, so
Yeah. Emotional.
right. It says, it recommends it recommends about the language, but right now we have connection problems, so we cannot try it out. But
It's okay.
this
So
is,
once you
yeah,
guys
this,
once the driver is matched with this vehicle, we can recognize your voice, right? In your language.
actually it recognize both sides and also in the back. We have
Oh.
4 microphones that actually detects all the commands. So I can say that I'm cold, I'm hot, or I can say that please turn up the volume down or turn down the volume. So I could say some commands to the vehicle and it responds through the vortex with us. So this is
Oh,
another example of
that is
intelligent
neat.
and emotional design.
I think
Okay.
this is a really, like from my impression, this is such a unique kind of looking interior. A lot of interiors are just based around, one big screen here and the screen here, and then everything else is quite minimal. But this kind of wraps around from the driver's door, through that vortex in the middle, which is quite interesting because it's got no space behind it.
Right.
And then there's a screen on the passenger side as well, and it's kind of like it's still very minimalist, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And the material quality is good, but it's such a unique design. I think Avatr have done a good job.
Yes, and you can see that this panoramic sunroof here, under the sun, maybe right now it's like 30 degrees or something. We don't feel very hot or something because it just it's isolated all the heat outside.
Like blocks the UV and blocks the heat transmission.
Like almost 99% of the UV lights are gone.
Okay.
So right now in this cabin, actually, we won't get 10. If you want to get 10, you'll get right. So this is a uniqueness of the interior design, and also there's a hidden thing that we try to communicate with our user is the antibacterial material used in this normally touched area. So the steering wheel and the center console and the door panel all coated with the antibacterial materials. And also you can see this is the UV light. So we blocked the UV light of the sun, but we kept it inside here for what? Just for cleaning the interior. So inside, actually, when people leaving the vehicle, you could activate this UV light through the app from your phone. So you could keep it clean while the next time you come into this car. So this is really a unique thoughtfulness of this design because right now the COVID is actually still going on. So we try to give our users a very clean environment and yet very nicely designed.
And the interior I think comes in different colors, right?
Yes.
This is the gray
gray.
White. I wouldn't choose this one because it would get
too good. We had the black ones, we had the red one, and also this gray one.
Yeah.
So you can choose from.
I think just very quickly, I think one of the most important things is the responsiveness of the screen. Now I get in a lot of EVs, and you do this and do this, and it struggles. But with this, everything's super fast, very easy to navigate around and change it. So just super slick. I think that's great.
Right. Thanks to Huawei, we actually built on Harmony OS. So this built-in Harmony OS actually has its own market. So when we update our systems, you could use everything from the ecosystem in Huawei or other ecosystem as well. So right now we have the internet connections not really clear. So right now it's just a beta version. But you can see this is really sleek, really responsiveness to the user's touch. So this right. And actually, we're trying to tell more about this. Yeah, this AC
This is cool.
control. Right.
This is you can direct the direction. You can direct the direction of the wind.
Yes.
Using your finger. So, you know, if I want the passenger one to go that way, that way, that way, that way, that's really and just touch. That's really quite unique.
Wow.
Really convenient. Yeah. Right. Here.
Yeah.
So you can use mine.
He's stealing my air conditioner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when you're sitting in the back seats, these directions of the winds are really important. You don't want it to blow in on your knees, right? When you are sitting in the back seat. Yeah, no, you don't want it. And I'm really curious because I drive a traditional petrol-powered vehicles because these electric vehicles I've tried sometimes, but I want to know with all this information, what are these functions on your site? What do you think is the most important when for the interiors? Like this, is that the screen? Is that the whole intelligent system, or this, self-cleaning function, or others?
I'll answer from my point of view first. So I think for me, I don't pick the car for the intelligent technology. I know it's a terrible thing to say. I'm maybe a bit more of a traditional car driver, and I like to have control of the car myself. I don't really like the self-driving so much. So for me, that feature's not. I wouldn't buy a car based on that. I would buy a car based on, probably the screen, because having big maps, big navigation. I'm not familiar with streets in Shanghai and China, and having a big map is so important for me.
Yeah.
And then just generally the overall feeling of the cabin. Is it good quality? Is my kid going to ruin it? Which he probably will. Biscuits everywhere. And then I suppose, connectivity with an app, I think, is quite important. So one of the best things about having an EV is that when it's really hot outside and your car's parked outside and you're leaving the restaurant, you can turn on the air conditioning.
Yes.
So when you get into the car, it's nice and cold.
Yes.
And that is by far one of the best features, I think, of an EV. Same in winter as well. If it's too cold, you can heat it up. So I think there's these kind of neat technology features which are so important in EVs that ICE cars just don't have.
Yeah.
Joe, probably completely different for you, I think.
Well, from the product side of the comments about what the most important thing is that actually this car never gets old. When you buy this car or when you buy the petrol car, actually, the value decreases when you pick up the car at the dealer. So when you pick up the car at Avatr, actually the value stays the same, maybe a little bit more because the battery is really increasing price, really increasing really high. But actually we keep the car up to date through the update of the system, or we add some features for the ADAS functions. So in fact, every day you use this car, you try to know your car or know what's going on inside. We keep updating it. So we know you know the car, and we know each other very well. So this is like a whole family, the whole ecosystem really about, because we try to communicate with our user through the product, through some events like this test event. So we try to communicate and then find out what's the most important thing for the users. So like Elliot, you really like to drive it on the road and feel it, right?
Yeah.
So we could update our steering wheels, maybe some ratios of these driving experiences or the braking experiences. Actually, this is all updatable. So when you complain about, wow, I don't need this kind of acceleration, it's too fast. So we can maybe put a turtle mode. Maybe you can drive slow. Or you have very important person in the back. You don't want her to throw up. You can just turn on the gentle mode maybe. So this is the uniqueness of EV cars out here in this market.
And it's like you say, it's all driven by software.
Yes.
And you can probably update the hardware as well in the future. I know that some EV companies are thinking about updating their hardware.
Yes.
So you still have the same car, but you update the chip, or you update the wheel or whatever it is, and then the software is always updating. So if you wanted to, I was complaining, and I want turtle mode. You say, right, we've got this custom setting, you can turn it on in here, and it's just like that. Whereas an ICE car, you just once you've got it, that's it.
And also, this car actually you could share with 10 people. So maybe you have friends who want to test it out. You could just share the key to them.
Oh, okay.
It's like when sharing, like you're sharing some experience and sharing your product with a friend. So yeah, this is something cool to do with the EV cars.
That's nice.
Right. You don't need to worry about privacy part because we got it all covered.
Oh, okay.
And we got it all covered, so you don't need to be pictured or worried about being videotaped. So this is like a very unique function. Yeah, just turn it off.
For your driving experience, right?
You can use
Right.
it for recording, but most function is for to make it driver focus on the driving and then make inside of the cabin on the back side.
It's for safety consideration. Okay. So what you guys just shared about is your experience and insights about the advantage of this EV. I have a question for both of you. First, Elliot, is Chongqing, we mentioned about Chongqing aims to build a world-class EV and intelligent and connected cluster, industry cluster. So what do you think is the advantages of this city? Have you been to Chongqing? To catch up with this Eastern China area, mostly markets and products are concentrate on focus on the Eastern China's markets. But Chongqing is one of the most manufactured industry in China of this EV, of course, of the traditional vehicles. So what do you think of the advantages of this city to build this kind of industrial clusters worldwide? Yeah, it's a really a big goal.
I think so. I went to Chongqing to test drive in the Baidu Apollo program.
Yeah.
So that was with the self-driving buses in Yichuan, I think that's the name of it. And so you've got this completely connected kind of road network, which makes traffic so efficient. The buses were in commercial operation. And I think, if Chongqing continues along that path of having this connected city, smart city, the technology will come around that. So if Chongqing gets known as, building, the smart infrastructure, that means that people are using maybe cars less, maybe using public transport more, maybe using micro mobility. If you have a truly intelligent city, and that if Chongqing can be the base of that, I think that's probably the advantage you have over the cities on the east. So the cities on the east, obviously, they're doing a lot of individual car ownership, big fancy cars. If you can focus on that, I think that's going to be, you look at the cities perhaps in Europe or maybe not so much the US, but in Europe, say Amsterdam, everyone rides bikes. If you can have an intelligent transportation network based around that, and if Chongqing can provide the technology for that, I think that's a good area for growth for them.
Yeah. And also we just shared, we have some really advantages to experience the car for building some places for these EVs to experience on the road. We have one video about how the Avatr 11 was trying to drive in Chongqing's Dianjiang district. Watch.
这个是也是
You got the fragrance section.
Oh.
So you can turn it off.
Okay, so it's a
perfume
perfume.
香薰。
Oh,
刚才你是看的那个界面。
the perfume is also connected with the
Right.
app.
The fragrance, right? Actually, this is not a standard feature. You need to buy for it, but this is really good that you could choose all the scents you want, and this is light. This is natural. The density of the scent, so this is strong. So you could generate a environment with the scent, not just the temperature. You could put it some scent into it. So this is some cool features to add on.
Wow, and you have 3 of them. It's really rare in vehicles because I bet some people won't have that much perfumes in their houses.
No,
No, actually, people buy some a car fragrance in Taobao or some e-commerce platforms, but we build it inside, so you don't see any strange bottles, in outside. Actually, the fragrance comes from the vent, so it smells like very natural, like you're being in the house or being some fancy restaurant, something. So this is like something we think ahead when you're driving or when you stay at. Right.
Yeah, something smells like really fancy, not just cheap colognes kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's necessary for when you are creating a really nice and comfortable environment when you are sitting driving the car. So what's next?
So do you want to hear more about the interior or anything else? Or
I think
comments from...
I think we can talk about something about this intelligent platform, the CHN, and I know that our domestic audience and they are really care about this because I watched a lot of review videos about this car, like in 1 or 2 months ago. Everybody just trying to get in the car and introduce this CHN, system. So they want to figure out what's the biggest feature of this system and what can we get as clients when we are driving this car from this system. What can we benefit from this system?
Okay.
Actually,
okay. So Joey, we want to ask Mr. Shen to answer this, and you guys can add some information about this. Okay.
Actually, CHN is not really a system. He's the one of what we call the platform.
Platform. Okay.
Yeah, platform into software and hardware is what we on the India. You can see it's a whole vehicle in here, and the CHN for Avatr for our first vehicle E11, obviously it's all new, 3 all new things. One is a new architecture, and one is a strong computing power, and the last one is a high range. High range means our battery can use them for much more because our first vehicle E11, and we use 96 kWs power cell. You can reach COTC range is 550. Yeah, and also later we have a one extra long. It's coming out. Let's use 116 kilowatts battery pack. That means you can drive more than 620 or 618 kilometers
for just
one charge.
One charge.
Yeah, and also the new tech we use is what we call the high volt recharging, and we can charge our batteries in 10 minutes. You can get 200 kilometers range. Yeah, in 10 minutes.
200 kilometers range
for recharging in 10 minutes.
Recharging in 10 minutes. Is that really a fast speed, Elliot?
Yes, it is. And I think I actually did a video fully charged this last week, and we went to GAC, the Guangzhou Automotive Company, and they're doing a very similar thing. I think they've got the world's fastest charging. And the difference is, a lot of ICE drivers or petrol drivers say they can't drive an EV because the charging times are too long, even if it's 30 minutes. But with this extreme fast charging, like with this car, with the GAC, to do it within 10 minutes, it means that no longer becomes an issue. And I think that would be a real game changer for people switching from ICE cars to EVs. So if more companies do it, like the Avatr, that's only a good thing.
Yeah, and it's really important, as you mentioned, the smart city infrastructure, facilities and utilities in the city. You know, we can see in a lot of cities in China, we have more electric vehicles infrastructure applying in every corner of the city. And I think that's important for people to drive the EVs. You have the supporting, you have the facilities for this. I think that's what people are still concerning about comparing with the traditional ones. It's more easier to, you know, get the gas in the car. But I think in the future, everybody just kind of get to know how important this problem will be solved. Okay, so what do you think? What do you guys think about this questions about the CHN when you are driving this, especially because Mr. Shen just shared us with some really professional information. But we kind of want to know what's your experience when you are driving this based on this CHN platform.
Maybe Joe?
Yeah. I think one of the most important character of CHN is that we don't use the old traditional ECU structure for our architecture. We use the domain control unit, so which means it separates from the powertrain, the chassis, the car body controls, and all the ADAS functions and all the cockpit features. So we could upgrade the experience independently or as a whole, that we could generate a big upgrade to the chassis, to the car. So in fact, we're trying to build something that is like we're buying a MacBook or we're buying an iPad or some digital electronics devices. We try to upgrade when we find something that is really helpful for the users. So the CHN provide this kind of opportunity to let us do this for you. So you could just use one click on the button in the screen, so the car upgrades itself. So when you drive on the road, actually you use all types of these features in the car. But when you upgrade the car, you can feel there's a difference in the system or in the driving experiences. So this is like when you're driving an ICE cars, actually you don't have that kind of experience before, or you need to pay a lot of money to upgrade for the maybe powertrain or chassis. But in the EV car, actually you don't need to pay that much, or you need to pay zero you have to get the upgrade. So this is very cool. So the CHN platform, like the Darling mentioned about the fast charging and fully upgrade, and also the safety is really our big important part. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So our chassis design is really solid, really rigid, because we use a lot of aluminum technologies so the lightweight technologies inside. So this is almost maybe 5,000 pounds, but really compared to other competitors, we're really light. Maybe it's not that very light, but we're light. We're not that fat actually. So when you're driving it, you feel that this is not a big car. This is a really compact, really nice to have, nice to drive car. So this is the CHN. We put in we put the thought of the safetyness and put the thought of the technology side, and also the uniqueness design of this platform, because this is a stretchable wheelbase, so we could stretch from 2,800 millimeters from 3,100 millimeters. So actually the height is adjustable too. So you get this platform, but you can create lots of segments, products like sedans, SUVs, MPVs, or crossover. you can imagine this platform's opportunities could be. So this is the beauty of this association brings to us.
Okay, about the last one that I just kind of lost it, the concept of
Okay.
this. Can you?
Right.
Yeah, I want to ask Mr. Sen to briefly introduce this concept, and do you have anything add you can share about this?
Not much. Joe already done my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with nothing to share,
Well,
just
I think
about
that's
this
all from my
vehicle.
side.
Okay, so thank you guys, and we've seen you doing this test run in Shanghai, and we are really glad to have you guys with us, Elliot, and we are looking forward to watch Elliot's new content about this vehicle, because he's about to shoot some clips and footages about this, and make and create some kind of big topics about this, and everybody is looking forward to watch this kind of content, because I think this is the first the English version of live streaming about this car on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think
so.
So we kind of did an innovative content about this vehicle. I'm really glad to have you guys with us today and doing this for us. As we just shared in the beginning, on September 8th, Chongqing released the development plan to build a world-class, intelligent, connected, and new energy vehicle industry cluster. This requires the lead and supporting from this government, technology innovation, and coordinated development with relative industry like we just shared. The market should be really open, wider, more international cooperation and trading must combine with. And the core of this industry is about achieving the carbon peaking and carbon neutrality goals in Chongqing and in China. And also, we are hoping it's to see this because it's really deeply related to our lives. So the last question is: do you think it's more environmental? Responsible or environmental friendly to choose EV, like Avatr 11?
How much time do you have? Because it's a complicated topic, but
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, from my point of view, yes. I think yes, it does. There's a lot more CO2 involved in the manufacture of the batteries and the car than perhaps an ICE vehicle. But then if you think about things like local pollution, so when you're driving past on a street, next to a school in a petrol car, all of those fumes, all that pollution is going into those, into the kids' lungs. So I think there's no real good answer in reality. I think a lot of us should not be driving personal cars so much. That really is the answer. But if you do have to drive a car, I think an EV is definitely the way forwards.
Okay, what about you, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, you obviously want.
Yes, like Elliot mentioned, the manufacturing of the battery is really not that environmental friendly, but the result, actually the car running in the street, is really clean. The clean energy is the solution to our Earth, to this planet. So in fact, when you go into maybe a basement or a parking lot, you feel the heat because all the combustion engines are getting out the heat. But try to imagine that this is a pure EV parking lot. So maybe there's a cool wind inside the parking lot, maybe. So this is like a very good environment that we need to picture it, and we need to try to achieve it. So EV or maybe the hydrogen cars, maybe in a few years, I think those kind of clean energy is the solution to stop the pollution from our planet.
Yeah, so are they going to be this kind of same test run in Chongqing, applied in Chongqing of this vehicle in this month?
I think there are lots of cities that opens the opportunities to test drive. About 10 cities starting from maybe next week. So Chongqing will be must a must have city. So
Yeah.
we really enjoy that you could come to our store, come to the experience center to have a reservation for the test drive and truly, engage to this vehicle, because through the camera, maybe you cannot see what we see here. The materials, the fit and finishes, actually it's pretty great, but you need to really drive it for yourself.
Yeah. It's really important to experience the driving before you purchase this vehicle. Yeah, because it's above all, it's it's like a high brand product, right? Kind of.
No, it's pure electronic.
Yeah, it's pure electronic, but it's the level of the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's important to test it before you buy it. So thank you guys. I think that's it for today. And I'm going to release you guys for have a rest. And I'm going to end our show today with a video released about this vehicle, Avatr 11, and also the CHN platform with explanation of the technology behind it. So thanks for watching this episode today. Please like, share, and subscribe to Chongqing's channel, to Elliot's channel, and keep focusing on this newly released, newly launched vehicles Avatr 11. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Mr. Shen. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Elliot. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
那像这些功能，像这些